I do like this.
Hi there, this is Holly and welcome back to, or welcome to my channel. This is the setup I use for recording video on the trail. It's heavy, I know, but I've been spending a lot of money on my actual backpacking gear in the past year, so buying a smaller, lighter camera system isn't in my budget right now, so this will have to do. I use an LG 5 phone, which has a decent camera, removable battery, and removable SD card, all important for being able to keep it charged and have a method to store lots of video footage on trail. Everything else I bought on Amazon, and I'll try to link everything down below. I don't want to have this stored away in my pack. I want it easily accessible, but protected from the elements. So this is what I came up with. It was a cold, snowy day in mid-March when I started working on this. The first thing I did was draw around the setup to get a general idea for the shape. I sewed a test one out of some scrap fabric, and then made a paper pattern based on that. I used 2.2 ounce HEX70XL PU3000 DWR from Ripstop by the roll in charcoal gray. It has a urethane coating on the back, making it highly waterproof. I traced the pattern on the HEX70. Here I am extending one side of the item I will be making, and you'll see the reason for this as we move through the project. Time to cut out the two pieces I've drawn. With any nylon or sil nylon fabric I work with, I always sear the edges to stop them from raveling. The less I have to punch a needle through the fabric, the better for it to stay waterproof, so I try to avoid rolled edges. I bought a hot knife at Walmart. I think it was around $10. I found, though, that using the part that you tighten around the blade works better than using the side of the knife. First, I sewed a small hem along the top edge of the shorter of the two pieces. In normal sewing, I don't do this, but for these projects using slick material, I knot the top and bottom threads together at the beginning and the end of each piece I sew. I then folded this hem again and sewed this down. This will be used to encase an elastic strap, so be sure to make this wide enough for the elastic that you're going to be using. I thought about using a cord elastic, but decided that wouldn't hold up to extreme temperature changes over time. Next, I threaded the elastic through the casing, pulling about an inch through the other side. I didn't cut the length of elastic yet. Then I clipped both pieces of fabric together, matching the narrow bottom sections. I've had these clips for quite some time, and I absolutely love them for holding waterproof materials together. Again, the fewer pin or needle holes in the fabric, the better. I sewed from the top of one of the sides where the elastic was cased, down around the skinny section, and back up the other side to where the elastic comes out of the casing. Once I got to the end, where the long elastic piece was hanging out, I decided how much I wanted this edge to be gathered, pulled the elastic out to create the gather, then sewed the last bit of the seam. Now it was time to work on the top edge of the long piece. First, I folded both top corners and sewed them down. This is the easiest way to not only make a nice corner when hemming, but it also allows you to make a casing for elastic at the same time. After sewing down the two top corners, starting from where the two pieces are joined on one side, I sewed a narrow hem all the way around to the other side where the two pieces are joined. Next, I folded it in again to sew another hem. This time I was careful to match the two diagonals at each corner, and making sure the top edge hem would be wide enough to encase the elastic I was using. I turned the whole thing right side out, then threaded the elastic through the top edge casing. This elastic was going to be sewn into a loop, so I had to test it out to see how big the loop needed to be. Finally, I sewed the two sides of the long top section together, forming a pocket, which will hold the mic and dead cat. So there you go, the finished project. I'm happy with how this functions. Obviously in nice weather, I leave the pocket opened up with the mic and dead cat exposed, so that it's easier and quicker to remove the whole thing from the weather case. I use a webbing strap to cinch this on to the shoulder strap of my backpack, so I just have to loosen the strap and pull the whole thing out when I want to record. It works pretty well, although I'm still trying to find just the right position for it all. I found it works best if the mic is bent forward over the phone, and I put it in the case facing backwards so that the mic is leaning over my shoulder. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great day.